welcome back to Lovebug Tarot, and welcome in if you are new as well. That felt repetitive, but it is early. I have my coffee. We're just gonna go for it. I usually try to hide my coffee mug or tea mug, but today it's early and you all just get to see Mr. Owl. He's seen things. All right. So we're going to be doing our divination grid, and it's a large grid, which is why the camera is so far back. And as always, there's timestamps in the description if you want to just jump ahead. Heads up, I do always timestamp when I start laying out the grid, but there's also one when everything is already laid out. Because sometimes things come through when I'm laying the grid out, so I just mark those. Use your best judgment, what feels right for you, and we are going to grab our sassy affirmation card. Okay, where to put this? There we go. All right, so this is going to go over here until we are ready for it. And I'm going to put tarot cards. It's also cold here, so yeah. My lovely purple sweatshirt. Okay. So now we are going to shuffle our very square deck. And I don't know, I almost called it old-fashioned. But we are asking Spirit, about the week ahead. About what is going on. Oh, and we also use runes. It's early, I'm so sorry. But we have Celtic and Norse runes. So we're going to also give these quick shuffle. And you'll see I use the runes when I'm laying out the grid as pictures line up. If you're not familiar with this tarot deck, oracle deck, it's a divination deck. It's a Russian divination deck, and each card has half of a picture, and there's 4 of them. So as you line up, it's kind of like a little bit of like a matching game, a little bit. But you'll see when we start laying out the grid. I'll explain things a little more, and I'm honestly one of those people that learn best through just watching. So that's how I learned to use this deck many moons ago. And now we do this. All right, come here. It's a very thin deck. So even though there's technically 50 pictures, I think there's 50 cards, right? It's too early, I'm asking questions. Okay, there we go. All right, so what do we need to know as collective for the week ahead? All right, get this in here. So I also try to mark the images as they come up and line up. And it's okay. I've had a few readings where maybe one picture matched. So I've don't think I've ever had, if I can recall, one where like none of the pictures matched. But you always read, there's the last card in the grid in this corner. And you read all of the pictures on that card in their upright position. There's 4 different positions these can land. And depending how they match up, changes the meaning slightly. So there's like a general meaning for each of the cards. And then, are we still all in frame? Mostly. We're still working on our setup. Okay. I don't see anything there. Moving on. Ooh, close. But no cigar. Hold on. Okay, we're back. I just like soft background music it helps me focus because my brain goes everywhere all at once, all the time. So, but it's soft enough, hopefully, that, the corporate overlords do not pick it up and try to get me for something No, I don't make money off of any of this. This is just something I do for fun. I find it grounding. I just like reading cards. And so I was like, I want to read for more people. And I thought, well, YouTube certainly has a lot of people, so we'll try that. And always at the end, I'll take a moment to like stare deeply and see if any other cards match. And I'll cut that out. So, and if you've been around, you've heard me say that a million times. But I always try to make it new person friendly. If you are new to the channel, if you're learning the ropes and coming in, if you are a new tarot goblin. I mean, that's how I became a tarot goblin. Basically, we just, you know, got a hyper focus, and then it never went away. Ooh, yay, the stars. Ooh, that's a great card. All right, what do we got? 3. Oh, wow. Okay. Ooh, okay, so we have the blank rune word. We have Thorizaz. Okay, a gateway. Okay. And I'm bad with remembering names. It's the rune of protection. I am blanking on it so hard. It's not, no, it's not on Zeus. It's, give me a sec. Alys? Elgas? Starts with an E. Anyways, the rune of protection. Which is awesome, because the general meaning for the stars is like destiny. Like, that's a big picture to come up. So something this week, something could be shifting for you in like in a great way too. And it's interesting that the blank rune came up, because word is a blank rune. It's blank. It's open, kind of open-ended, I want to say. There's just like, oh, I just saw the letter match up. Ugh. Come here. Okay. That happens sometimes. I've also been in the middle of a read, and suddenly spotted another thing that matches up. So it happens. 3 again. Okay. And a Celtic rune. All right, we have Tiwaz, the rune of discipline. Yira, the rune of cycles. And then we have the Celtic rune for inspiration and intuition. Okay. And the letter's in the second position, so I'll have to look that one up. But typically the first 2 positions where it's upright, and then, hold on, if we're going counterclockwise. So if it's upright and then it shifts to the second position, typically the first 2 positions are, I don't want to say positive, but a little not as challenging. The last 2 positions and the 4th position sometimes is a more challenging energy for the card. But we will see. We will see. This is an interesting deck, because while I said typically, that's not always the case. This is why I always grab the book, because I am like, I have a general remembrance of things, but it's not always 100%. Ooh, oh wow, a lot of news coming in. So the letter and the book both talk about news. News in different capacities, but still news in some way. Okay, so, oh, 1. Ophila, okay. Inheritance. Ophila is like property, possessions, inheritance. There's a long-term growth, I want to say. But we'll get more information about that. Nope, that is a dog. Nope, that one's over there. That one's over there. Sometimes by finding the other corresponding side of the picture, it's a little easier to be like, wait, does this match up? No, those are there. I'm also, I keep looking back to be like, was anything standing out? Nope. Okay, last row. Last row, let's see. Is it owl? Ooh, all right, we got the fire. Here. Fire in the third position. 2 Celtic runes. Persuasion, communication, terror, and fear. Ooh, okay. Interesting, because the general meaning of fire is like passion enveloping you. So I wonder if there's something you're passionate about, but maybe you're a little scared to embrace it. We'll get more information in a minute. Right? No, that one was over here. Dang it. All right, and last card. All right. Ooh, interesting. We have the sun and the moon right there. I know it's not lining up, but I'm like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Okay, and then we'll get a rune for the last one. Ooh, Wunjo. It's a rune of joy. Success. Nice. All right. Let me put this over here. All right, I'm going to take a minute and look into this and see if anything else matches, and I will be right back. All right, I don't see anything. Took a little coffee break too while we're gazing in. Okay, so let's grab our book. I had the sudden urge to be like, book. If anybody's seen the movie Hocus Pocus, you know that reference. Oh, all right, and also our affirmation card. So it says, listen, the only thing you should quit is your excuses. Interesting, that particular phrase came up. Let me see if it'll focus. It's interesting that phrase came up because we were talking about like the passion and maybe being scared of like something you're really passionate about and being scared to embrace it. And so it'll be interesting to see how that comes up in context to everything going on here. So I'm going to put this here to the side. There we go. And okay, grab our little tarot deck because I have no doubt that we're going to need some clarification. I was also noticing that these all were lining up right here, and I just got the sense that maybe at the beginning of the week, okay, let me try to put this in words. It's hard. Words are hard this early. You get news that's feels kind of like a like an emotional high. Like I have a feeling it's good news, and again we're gonna dive a little deeper, but like good news comes in, and then there's it kind of things dip. I feel like things kind of dip, but then immediately kind of go back up. And it could be they dip because of like negative self-talk or limiting beliefs, things of the past that, you know, have maybe kept you from, you know, like the excuses that this card is talking about have kept you from embracing a certain path or something or someone. But it's interesting that we also have persuasion and communication here as well. Like, I feel like there's a bit of a dip. And that can happen. Sometimes you get really good news and it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then you go, oh no, how am I actually going to do this? Or am I prepared for this? Can I really, like all those little brain goblins that run around and yep. Give them a fruit snack. Tell them, thank you. I know you're trying to keep me safe, but now is not the time. And we put them in the corner and let them have a timeout. At least that's how I deal with mine. Easier said than done, I know, but I feel like there's like this little dip and then things things go back up, which is awesome. So we're going to see how this all plays out. Okay, so saying that, I'm actually going to start, typically you start kind of whichever one's higher, but I'm feeling to like start here like we were just talking about. And we'll kind of go in that direction. We're going to start with the letter. We're going to go to fire, the book, and then the stars, and then go to the last card. I think that's how we're going to do this one. I'm just going on vibes here, but that's what I'm getting. Okay, so 27. Nope, that is 28. Too far. Okay, so the letter's general meaning is news from a distance. And I also get from the letter like something official, like a document. Again, a very like an official letter. In this day and age, again, this is a timeless read. Who knows? Maybe sending letters and pen pals will come back into fashion. I love sending letters to people. I make an excellent pen pal. Tangent, sorry. And wow, where was I going with that? Hold on. Something about like the official capacity, like when usually you receive a letter now, it's something very official. And then sometimes it's junk mail. But I feel like this is something much more official. And with intuition, I feel like this is something you've been expecting, or you have a feeling it's coming. Let's see. So this is in the second position. And it says interesting and unexpected news. Okay. I feel like it is unexpected when it actually shows up, but it's something perhaps on an unconscious level, a subconscious level. You've had the feeling that this is coming. Like you've had an inkling. Maybe you've been working on manifestation with it. You've been journaling about, like you've been doing work and planting seeds to bring this forward, but it's like it's not until you have that like that official document in your hands going, oh my goodness, it happened, it actually happened, kind of deal, which is freaking fabulous. Yeah, because with Tiwa's here, the rune, it's the rune of the warrior, and I think of like a spear when I see this. See this rune. Let me get this very makeup influencer for you guys. There we go. But I see a spear, and I think of like all of the discipline and sacrifice it takes to be a warrior. I think of like, I personally am in the United States, and so I think of like people who join the military and go through boot camp, and you know the sacrifices they need to make if they join, that they volunteered to make. You know, that they're just like, no, I'm going to do this. I feel so strongly about it that I have to do this, and you know, they do so much to pursue that path. And I'm getting that same sense of like, this is something you've sacrificed a lot for. You've been driven towards. There's been this like steady discipline. With Yira, it's the rune of change, of cycles, of also like a harvest. And it's interesting right now, this is a timeless read, but right now we're in the fall, and typically in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere you're in the spring, but in the fall it's typically like a harvest time. This is the time when you're bringing in more of your crops, and you know, if you're a gardener, you know, this is like you're getting your last couple harvests before everything kind of goes to sleep for the winter. Again, depending where you are in the world, but just using that as a general metaphor. But something is coming in. We were talking about like kind of planting seeds earlier. Like you've been planting seeds for something, and it's been growing, and it may not be something you've been seeing with your own eyes, but it has been growing, and the cycles are turning. The harvest is coming in. This letter, or it could be an official email, even if it's like an official email, or could be something like you receive an email, but there's also like a PDF or a download or something where you have to like print it out, sign it, send it back, like that, maybe that kind of. But there's still something of an official capacity, official news. Okay. Let's get could we get some clarification on what this news is about? Strange enough, I'm seeing the one on the bottom. All right, so we have 5 of Cups. Again, that sense of like sacrifice with the 5 of Cups. It could be that you've been waiting for so long that maybe there's also been some disappointment. Like it's not been moving maybe as fast, or just because you haven't heard anything, maybe there's been, I don't want to say a sense of despair, but like that sense of, is it coming? And you're pouring so much into this. You really are. Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is something you're very passionate about. Ooh, 8 of Cups. We were talking about a cycle and something turning. And with the 8 of Cups, there's also, you could be leaving something behind, kind of like walking into a new dawn. And you have the 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a reciprocity coming in. What you've been planting, what you've been pouring into this is coming back. And this could also instigate having to make a choice to walk away from something. I don't feel in like a negative capacity, like it was toxic or, you know, anything like that. It's just this very gentle, like, well, I'm moving on now. It's interesting because we have the Knight of Wands. Now we're going down to number 44. The Fire. Be interesting to see how this all connects. Yeah, so the Fire's general meaning is passions. It is in the 3rd position. In the 3rd position, the phrase here, verbatim, is out of the frying pan and into the fire, which is an older? I don't know where that came from or when it first appeared, but I know I've heard about it since I was a kid. So basically, it's like out of one situation into another, and it's not necessarily, I don't want to say it's necessarily good or bad. It's just, it's different. You're still in the passions, but your passions are redirected. Ooh, and this is where that terror fear rune comes in. This could be part of that negative self-talk. There could be a leap of faith involved. And it's like, am I jumping out of the frying pan only to jump into a fire? Which, valid, very valid. Can we get more clarification on that, please? Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. With the Wheel of Fortune. Yura and the Wheel of Fortune is very, I feel those two are very linked. There could be a collaboration involved. And there could be money involved as well. And that could be the hard part. That could be the hard part to reconcile, because in the past, it's very possible that, pardon the pun, I don't mean it, but maybe I do. You've been burned before. We're talking about fire and everything. But it's very possible in the past where you put your money down on something to collaborate, to move forward, and you got burned. But things are changing. You also have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are shifting. Things are changing. Can we get any... Ooh. Yep. Okay. And we got the 10 of Swords. That season of doubt and fear is coming to an end. It's the 10. It's the end. And again, these two figures, the 10 of Swords and the 8 of Cups, they're both walking away. They're walking away into, like, the light. I don't know if it's a sunrise or a sunset, but they're moving on. So with persuasion and communication, there could be a need to maybe reach out. 5 of Wands. Excuse me. Oh, something got caught in my throat suddenly. You're going to need to speak up to kind of cut through the noise. And there could be a lot of people maybe trying to give you advice. Oh, you should do this. You should do this. Don't look, look out for this. And what about, and like trying, could have the best intentions, but some of them could be projecting their own insecurities or their own fears about this situation. So you're going to need to reach out and talk either with the person or the situation, the company, whatever it is, whoever sent the letter, that communication, that news from a distance coming in. Reaching out and talking to them and being like, these are my concerns. These are moving forward. I need some like reassurance, or even just a friend, like a trusted friend. Yeah, because you have the Ten of Pentacles. This is definitely something worth pursuing. Like, very valid fears. Acknowledge that. Those fears are there for a reason. Past experiences, whether they happen to you or someone else. Extremely valid. And acknowledge those, and from that, reach out and talk to whatever or whoever instigated this news and be like, hey, these are my concerns. I just need to go over some stuff. If it's like a contract, talk to someone who's maybe like a neutral third party. And I just saw the rooster up in the corner. Dang it. I just saw these two match up. Which is interesting because the rooster is also news. Some kind of communication is coming in this week for you. All right. And that could be very relevant as well. Communication is going to be very key. This happens. Okay. Here we go. Here's the rooster. And we got 2 runes for this one. Ooh, we have Nauthiz and Rytho. Okay. Interesting that came up right as we were talking about this and reaching out to communicate. So let's jump really quick to number 48 with our rooster. And the rooster is news that wakes you. That's the general meaning. In its first position, it's good news. It's soon you're going to hear good news. It's interesting that you got Nauthiz, which is this one. Nauthiz is delays, patience. There could be a message here to slow down, to take a minute. And Rytho is about journeys. It's about movement, which is very contradictory in a way. It could be that this news is moving things forward, and it could be moving things forward rather quickly. But as fast as things are going, you may need to take a moment to slow down. And I'm getting the phrase like it's about the journey. So it could be that don't focus on the end destination. In this case, like maybe this could be a trip. If you're invited to go somewhere, or like a convention, or, you're invited to speak on something, don't necessarily obsess or focus at as again, using that example, like a convention. Like, don't obsess about the convention itself. Kind of just enjoy the journey. Take a moment, pause, look at the details. Yeah, a lot of... Okay, let's... Before I keep just running around in circles in my brain. Whoop, come on. Didn't want to shuffle for a second. Okay. Could we get some clarification for our rooster? Okay, yeah. Take a moment. 4 of Swords. Pause. I just got, as an example, something came up for me. If this is something that you've been waiting on for, let's say, a long time, and it finally comes in, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is moving forward. And you have this momentary kind of panic, with the terror, the fear, it's like you're so passionate about this, you're so excited, and you kind of, I'm not saying you're gonna have a panic attack, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. Sometimes when something really, really good comes in, something really positive happens, I can get like this momentary, like, I start shaking and just like, oh my gosh, that can happen where it's, for me, it's kind of a minor panic attack, and I have to slow down. I have to take a moment and kind of ground myself. The Four of Swords, I may need to isolate myself and just take a moment and rest and take care of myself before jumping back into be like, okay, let's do this. But I personally need that like moment to freak out. I need a freak out moment before I can be like, okay, breathe, and we can do this. So again, I'm using that as an example. I'm just using my own personal experiences. But it could be that you need to take a moment. Yeah, because things are going to, Eight of Wands. Things are going to be moving fast. Make sure you take time out for yourself. Oh, wow, 10 of Cups. Dang. All right, last one. And the Four of Cups. Yes. This could be something that kind of came out of nowhere. It blindsided you, even though you're like, oh, I've been working on it, which is really strange and kind of funny in the same way, where it's like you've been working on something, planting the seeds, you're like, oh, it'll happen one day. And then that day finally arrives and it's like, oh no, the day is here. The assignment's due. Like that kind of energy. Again, the momentary freak out where it's like, ah! And then taking a moment and connecting with grounding yourself. The 10 of Cups here, I'm just thinking of like taking a moment to see how far you've come. Connecting with people, talking with people, this communication. There could be not only with like, again, using the example of a contract, of like getting clarification on certain points or certain aspects of that, but also connecting with people who make you feel safe, you can talk to, who you can ground with, who can like help walk you through mentally the process, or can just hear your freak out for a bit and be like, okay, are you good? And help you kind of pull yourself out of that. But you're gonna be patient with yourself. Nauthiz again is a rune of patience, of delays, and maybe some delays come up, and this is also like, don't get so frustrated with that it tarnishes, I want to say, like the journey, like flow with it. I'm getting this sense of 10 of Cups. Go with the flow. Go with the flow of this. The Four of Cups, and then again these rainbows coming out too. Yeah, because sometimes things don't happen in the way you're expecting them to. But sometimes that happens for the better, and it's like that blessing in disguise where, an example, you went to go get concert tickets, and the concert tickets were sold out by the time you got there, and you're like, oh my, I really wanted to go to that concert. And then a few days later, you get a message, a letter, you get news that it's like something even better, that you're just, I would never miss that for the world, is coming up. And it would have been that same weekend. And it's like, wow, I don't have to go through the hassle of trying to refund my tickets or, reschedule anything, or refund it. It's like, no, I can just focus on this thing that's like even better that came in. Again, just an example. So that's interesting that came up. Again, the letter, the book, the rooster, like big news is coming in. Some big news is coming in. So let's go to 26, the book. So the book is secret news. Its overall meaning is secret news. It's very secret. And in the second position, it says something that is of importance is being hidden from you. This book, again, is kind of flowery in its language. So I'm going to quickly look over here. Let's see, sometimes they give a better summary of what they mean by this. When you get this picture, be super sensitive to the information that is flowing around you. Keep your ears open so that what people are communicating you will receive. Okay. So I think it's saying be observant. And it's interesting that Othilla came up, because Othilla deals with kind of like possessions and inheritance and legacies, and also growth. Something long term. Yeah. So secret news could be, and that's something that could come back to this communication. We were talking about getting clarification. And you may need to like read between the lines, which is, for me personally, again, I'm speaking from personal experience, it's very frustrating sometimes. I'm like, just say what you mean. But this may be a time where you have to be very discerning about what people are communicating, how they're talking, or yeah, just get all the details that you can. And we were talking about, again, going with the flow. And I think that's just saying, like, be open to change. Going back to the convention example, like if you've ever been to a convention or worked at a convention, volunteered, I have done many of these. Nerd. But things, especially if you're a volunteer, things change constantly. You know, rooms shut down, equipment goes wrong, the line suddenly gets huge, and you just have to kind of adapt to the situation. So I feel like that's what, like, as things kind of speed up and come in, be adaptable to the situation, but also make sure to take care of yourself very much emotionally as well. As things change, make sure to take breaks. Like if you're getting stressed about something, take a break, take a moment, breathe. Yeah, because as things are going to grow, you're going to need to give a little bit of space for yourself. And it could be that you're also a bit more maybe of an introvert, and this could be pulling you out of, your nest. This person's kind of curled up in a little nest. And that can be a lot. That can be a lot for introverts. So as things are kind of speeding up and coming in, you're going to need to strike that balance and just, again, focus on the journey. Don't need to obsess over the end goal. Because is there really an end goal? Like I guess in life there is. But I'm just thinking about like certain paths, like in a career, or like let's take a career, for example. Sometimes there's not an end goal. I don't know. I have a very, I guess, unique way of looking at like career paths where I just never want to stop growing. I never want to stop evolving on a path, because that, like at the end, that feels very stagnant to me. So just knowing that it's like there's just this journey. There's just this amazing journey I get to go on in that capacity. It's a bit woo-woo way to look at it, but that's what I'm kind of feeling for that. So the secret news, and this could be something that, because again, we're dealing with like long term as well. Your legacy, something that you're building, and I get like from the ground up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Why are all of you coming out? I wanted like 3. I got 1, 2, 3, 5. I got 6. Sure, why not? Ooh, Page of Wands. Okay, we're going to do this up here. Page of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. And the 3 of Wands. A lot of fire and earth here. Yes, this is something you're just starting out on. And again, this is very passionate. It's something that kind of like lights up your soul. And it has the potential to have very long-lasting effects on your physical world, your wealth, your health, your physical stability. And this is a journey you are ready to set out on. Chariot, yeah, they're speeding up. We have the Hermit and the Five of Swords. As things speed up, as much as you want to pull in, you're gonna need to find a balance between the Hermit, like I think of like hermiting, and that we were talking about being like an introvert versus having to be an extrovert because of something happening here. And it's not to say that the negative self-thoughts or the fears of the past or any of those are going to just poof, vanish overnight. There is a sense that it's something you're going to need to work on. And not in a bad way either. But for the long-term longevity and success of what you want to do and where you're going and how you're moving forward, it is something that you're going to need to be aware of. And not let it get, overwhelming. Because the Five of Swords on the flip side, so to speak, is also a card about like winning and losing. And it's interesting, you also have you have the Five of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Fives are about change. The numerology, just there's change happening. And out of all the competition that was from this, you won. You came out on top. Like, don't forget that. You did come out on top on this. Yee. Okay. 16 stars. Oh, nope, too far. Yes, so the stars is destiny. It's things. I got there's a song, Written in the Stars. There's a lyric. I can't remember the song, but that lyric just came in. And destiny to me is like an interesting concept because, you can get very quantum physics with the idea of like time is not linear. Our future influences the past, all of these things. It's like this is something that was destined to happen. But the idea is like, how do you rise up to meet that destiny? And I think that's where the blank rune word and Thorazaz comes in. There is a gateway opening here. This is kind of the beginning of, you hear people maybe, if you're into tarot, you probably have heard people talk about like quantum jumping or like shifting of timelines. Like there's a gateway where you're moving into a new chapter of your life. And it's not to say that it's easy, and it's not to say that it's not without its hiccups and its difficulties and its challenges, but you're very protected in that. And I haven't even gotten, so in this first position, the book says your guiding star will bring you to your goal. So it's not just, and like destiny is like, you've clearly also been working on this. This is something you felt drawn towards. Like you've found your North Star and you've been following that North Star. So it's not without any effort on your part. You have been putting in a massive amount of effort, I feel. You've been moving towards this. Again, steadily. We had Tiwaz. This is Thor's. Tiwaz. Over here with the, that discipline. Yeah, the gate, the card over here, it's like it was talking about quitting excuses. And that could be part of that this more difficult energy down here that you're overcoming. You're overcoming the what, not necessarily the what ifs. Well, maybe it's like, oh, what if I can't? What if what if this happens? What if that happens? And we were talking about, again, like flow, taking time to rest, taking care of yourself emotionally, mentally as well. Having those connections. A lot of news and communication is happening here. So don't forget also to like communicate with, a trusted person, whether it's a mental health professional, a close family or chosen family member, make sure you have that support. And I feel like you do. You have the 10 of Cups up here. There's definitely you have a support system in place, which is freaking beautiful. All right, so let's get some, ooh. All right, those two literally flipped over. You have the Knight of Pentacles and the Moon. Okay. Oh, this one on the top kind of shuffled over. The Two of Swords. Yeah, we were talking about like excuses, like making subconsciously. I don't feel it's a conscious thing on your part, and everybody does this. Of again, it's those little brain goblins trying to. Your brain is very selfish and is always going to try to protect you first and foremost. But sometimes it does it to its own detriment. So clearing out or finding ways or having tools to when, the birds start squawking really loud, to block those out or to work with them in whatever capacity. Again, we have the Five of Swords here. These, I just think of like, just like in your brain, and it's like no, we don't want that. We don't need that right now. The Knight of Pentacles and the Moon. The Knight of Pentacles, this is something that has been growing steadily and will grow steadily. And again, with the Queen of Pentacles over here as well. Yeah, this is something that I got building momentum as well. Not just in like perhaps like your wealth, your health, your finances, things like that. So that is becoming more steady and is going to continue to grow. And we have Word, which is the rune of possibilities, of things yet unseen, and the Moon. I have the feeling that there's even more to come. There's even more to come. There's more under the surface. You're barely breaking the surface of what is coming, which is kind of exciting, a little terrifying, but also kind of exciting. So can we have a peek? If not, that's okay. Queen of Wands, 2 queens. I just get the sense that like, yeah, things are coming in, and be open to receive, because it's definitely stuff, the Star. This is definitely, things are coming to you. Again, the stars with the Star. Things are coming to you. I just get that. That's it. I don't know if we're supposed to know, or maybe you know. This is something very personal to you. I get the sense that the things that you've been wishing for, you've been working on, you've been manifesting, the best is yet to come. This could be a really big week. Like, wow, okay. And so the last card we have, I'm going to put this up here, is Wunjo. The rune Wunjo, which is the rune of joy, which is a success and just really good things. So let's also get, can we get 4 cards? Just 4? Just 4, please. Okay, I'm seeing this one. And that one. Okay. My deck is known to be like, okay, you need 1 card, here's 6. Ugh. All right, so interesting, we also have the Moon here. The Moon up there. So let's see what's going on with number 32, the Moon. The Moon is the general symbol for peace, which is really interesting because we also had the rune of joy. And we were talking about like making sure to find that balance of like rest and emotional support in its upright, because we're going to read all of these pictures in their upright position. And it says, although life is uneventful, you have happiness nonetheless. So I feel like you're moving into calmer waters. Ooh, with the Fool. Okay. moving into this new energy, this new path, is going to require a leap of faith. But it's one, we were talking about like the best is yet to come. Like even, I don't know. I just, again, this is it's a very personal thing, I feel. So it's going to be different for everybody. And with the Fool here, I just get the sense you have the star up here. The star is also about like having faith. Like you've been putting your faith in spirit, in the universe, and you've been working. Yes, you have been working in the physical realm on this. Your leap of faith is going to pay off. Yeah. Okay. 8. 8 is interesting. 8 is the hearse. Okay. So the hearse is an interesting picture because it deals with our physical or emotional state. And it's the hearse. It's kind of deals with like pretty serious stuff, I would say. So let's see. Ooh, okay, that makes sense. So in its upright position, it talks about sickness, and typically something that's pretty serious, if left unattended. So if you are currently, I'm not a medical professional, please take anything you hear in a tarot read with a grain of salt. I would just say from personal experience, if something's going on that's out of not normal, please see a medical professional about that, whether it is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Absolutely, see a professional, please. I have a sense that in this case, maybe you will, or maybe you are right now taking care of, I feel like this might be more of the physical body. Physical and mental, because we have the 6 of Swords here. And it's interesting that the moon came up and it's talking about peace, like you're moving into calmer waters with the 6 of Swords. So something in the emotional, physical, and even mental world as well, there is improvement. Because again, we have Wunja, we have the rune of joy, of success. So whatever steps you're taking or are going to take for your well-being overall, in all aspects, there's going to be improvement in that because you are taking the steps. So as always, please, if something's up, please see a medical professional. You know, a medical professional, mental health, your spiritual leader, however it goes, like, please take care of that. And remember, we were talking about like taking care of yourself, finding that balance. That is going to be super important. All right, 38 is the lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. I don't know why that came in, but there it is. The lady. Symbol for support and help. And it says in the first position, it's a soft feminine hand will support you in time. And it's interesting, we have the 2 queens, with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. There could be a feminine person, not necessarily dictating gender, just a very nurturing and caring person coming in to help you, to give you a hand in this time. And again, we were talking about support, so maybe this is someone you already know. Ah! No, don't fall. Eesh. Ooh, all right, 7 of Wands. I wonder if this is someone who you either have spiritual ties to, or we're talking about like a spiritual leader or a spiritual counselor in some capacity, who's going to help like kind of set up, I get the feel like boundaries with this bubble. Yeah. Kind of setting up, because it's good to have boundaries in the physical realm, and it's also good to have boundaries in your emotional, mental, and spiritual realm. Like boundaries are great. Setting those up. And I get this sense of like protection. This is someone coming in, and the queens, that feminine energy, again, we're not talking about gender, just the energy of it, is a very receptive, a very open and receptive energy. So there could be also a message here to just be open to help. And that can be really hard. I mean, I'm speaking from experience again. That can be really hard to accept help from others. So be open to that. Because again, this is someone coming in that is going to, I feel, see you in your full... When I say see you, like being seen, perceiving you in all aspects. And not looking for anything in return. They're just coming in, they just want to help. I'm gonna get an extra card or two for this. So could we get some clarification on the Hanged Man? So they could see things from a different perspective. Maybe they have more experience in this realm than you, so it could be a mentor position. It could be they've been through this before, they've been through this process, like something, they can just see things from a different angle. Wow, the Emperor, okay. So we also have some very strong masculine energy too. And this is someone I feel is very stable. They could actually be well off as well in this avenue, this pursuit that you're on. So maybe, again, like maybe they are someone who's, I'm just going to say industry. They've been in the industry, or the company that you're, however it goes. Again, this is going to be different for everybody. But they've been on this path. They've been down this road before. They have that experience. So it could be that they're further along in their journey. So they have more stability in which to kind of like, hey, I've been through this. And that's, we were talking about like that protection. You know, let's say an example, you are hired into your dream company, and it could be like a manager or a coworker or someone who's like, hey, I've been here for a long time. I know the ropes. Let me show you around. You know, that kind of, yeah, like a mentor kind of energy. Speaking of masculine energies, there's the King of Wands with the Queen of Wands up here. And the King of Cups, very masculine energy. So I would say this is someone who is very balanced. Because we have the Lady and we have a lot of masculine energy. So this is someone who has, I feel, an emotional maturity. They could be a mature person, and not necessarily in age, just in life experience. This could be a mature person. They have an emotional maturity here with the King of Cups. Yeah, I feel like this is a path they've been on. They know what they're doing. It's interesting with the Hanged Man, because there's all these symbols kind of circling on the floor. This person is kind of having this enlightened moment. I just get the sense like they've seen the writing on the wall. The secret messages, we were talking about secret news as well up here. This could be someone who's coming in to help you with this, like deciphering that secret news, like helping you read between the lines, helping in that capacity, which is awesome. Like, could not ask for, I mean, support in this. Feels like a big shift. So having that kind of support is absolutely freaking fantastic. So we have the Bear is our last picture here on the last card. So the Bear's general meaning is work and effort with good results. And we were just talking about like the things that you've been putting in are growing, good results are coming in. And it says in the first position, it's with caution, happiness will not elude you. So there has been some messages in here about slowing down, even when things feel like they're speeding up, getting the details and just kind of like protecting yourself, putting up boundaries. You know, that weird dichotomy of like, go with the flow. It's just, if things change, just adapt to it. But also make sure you have like cross your T's, dot your I's kind of energy. Ooh, all right, we have the Seven of Cups. So there is going to be yeah, there's gonna be some choices will need to be made. And I get the sense that this person coming in can help and advise. Like, you have to make the choice. Ultimately, it is your decision what path you're taking, how you're taking that path, even. It's your decision. But this person, I feel, is going to help give advice on how to navigate that. But ultimately, it is going to be your choice. I know I said one card for each, and here I got a ton. Yeah, the Hierophant. It could be that they come in and are like, okay, these are the steps to take. This is the path. If this is the path you want to pursue, then these are the steps you need to take. You're the one who has to take the steps. But they can kind of help show you the way on how to do this. And there's the other king, which is, we also have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So this is very much something that is going to affect your physical reality in the future. And I just got the sense of, like, metaphysically things have changed. You know, it could be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like all those changes have been happening. This is now your physical reality catching up with all of that. And it's going to start reflecting that now, which is so freaking exciting. So that is what I have the week for you. Like, wow. There's some big stuff happening for you. So yeah, please make sure to take time and take care of yourself. And be open to guidance and support from people outside, and from your trusted people as well. You know, whether it's you need to sit down and have a talk with your pet or your plants or whatever it is, or, you know, your people as well. So yeah, it's kind of big news. We've been having a lot of big messages here, so I don't know what that says about the channel, but that's exciting. So as always, yeah, we're just going to do a little housekeeping. If you like the vibe of this, or you just enjoyed the read, please like, subscribe. It's super helpful for the channel. As always, I do have memberships available over on Buy Me a Coffee, which supports me as well for $5 a month. And we post there 3 times a week. So we have deck reviews and little mini reads as well. So there is content over there for people who want to support myself and the channel. Always super helpful. So, all right, housekeeping out of the way. Please remember this week to take care of yourself. Take breaks when you need to. Make sure to talk to your trusted people. And sending you so much love. Make sure to take care of yourself. Stay safe. And remember that you are very, very much loved. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.